Hello and welcome into another edition of the Big O Show with Orestes Destrade, Emmy Award-winning broadcaster from ESPN, Rays Baseball. Played with the Marlins, the Pirates, the Yankees, the Flagler College, whatevers.
And the Cebu Lions.
The Cebu Lions. You are wearing, let me see that. This
the retro Cebu Lions from the
that is a
80s
beauty.
and 90s. They're a lot darker now. I like their new hats too, but when I wear this, baby, it makes me feel tranquil and tropical, baby, and that's what the show's about. Tranquil and tropical. It's about the game, on and off the field. It's JP
I love it.
I
love it.
Yeah, we're gonna have some fun today and talk about on and off the field topics. We're going to talk a little bit of everything. And obviously the Rays were on the field again yesterday, my friend, and a close one, typical Rays one-run game. But unfortunately, what ended up really happening before the first pitch, Ryan Pepiot could not start. And I think that was big news because of fatigue. And dare I say, he's not expected to start the next few days. So could this be, if they have a bad Chicago series, by that I mean White Sox and Cubs, we may have seen the last of Ryan Pepiot.
Shut him down.
They might shut him down. This is the most innings he's pitched in his whole career ever. So
they never go over 20% more than the year before. So he pitched 133 last year. So 20% more would be about 160. He's at 163.
And what it created was obviously Jack's doing the opener, and then our boy Mason Montgomery just didn't have it. I've
seen a lot of that lately.
Seen a lot of that with and Mason's definitely had a frustrating year. He's a young kid with an explosive fastball.
Yeah,
but gave up 5. They battled. I mean, the one thing about this little engine that could, and can is the Rays do battle you and stay in games. Another great, performance by the one and only Junior. By the way, my mom only had 3 R's in my name, but when you say
it's getting longer every intro.
There's like every intro. There's like 7 R's in there.
That's a lot.
And Yaya Destrade, my mom, is gonna end up texting you or
good
DMing you.
Oh, man.
And tell you,
Did you just tell me your mom's going down to my DMs? Is that what you just said?
Oh, she's gonna go.
Good God.
Oh my God. She's 92, bro. So slow your roll. Whatever you can get, obviously.
Right,
You're that type of guy.
Right.
But she's going to come in and go, let me tell you something, okay? I only had 3 R's in Orestes. By the way, there's only 1 R in Orestes, so let's not get carried away. But speaking of R's.
She would like a gringo rolling his R's.
Yes.
Right?
Speaking of R's.
Making an effort.
No.
I'm making an effort.
Muy bueno.
Right?
I'm impressed. Your Spanish is better. People don't realize
Un
that.
poquito.
Un poquito, and he understands a lot. So be careful if you're
That's
around
right.
him.
Yeah.
So he understands more than he can speak. But speaking of R's, the Rays were 1 run short yesterday, 6-5. Great job again by Junior Caminero with his 43rd, 105th RBI. Down the road, I think we're going to give him the due, justice of really kind of coming back here one day. We're going to explain why that swing is so majestic. And really, if you compare it, it's
you're gonna do a demo here.
I'm going to do a demo of
FanStream Sports Tampa Bay
swing and why
Kingmaker Studio
and beautiful Kingmaker Studio. And the reason it's so great, you know why?
The finish.
It's the finish. It's the bottom hand power. A couple of guys that it reminds me of in the major leagues. One's having an off year. One's back to having a great year. Bo Bichette is a really big one-handed swing guy. Finishes high and just explodes and throws that. What you want to do is throw that bottom hand knob literally almost at the ball and explode. The other guy, Marcell Ozuna, and he's having a little bit of a down year with the Braves, but a monster, 40-plus homer guy, 30-plus homer guy, and another one that's a strong left-hand pull type of a hitter. But Junior's having a spectacular year. You know who kind of finally got a nice high fastball and drove it out of the
Who's
park?
that?
Senor Carson Williams.
Yes, we needed to see that.
I'm so, how high I am on this kid, right?
But
it's not so much the average, man. It's not that. I don't care for a rookie to come in and play the last couple of months. I don't care if he hits 200. It's how you're controlling the plate. And if you look at him right now, he's basically doing the same thing that he did in the minor leagues, except the minor leagues is a tad easier. So then you could hit 270 or 280 and hit more bombs and hit more doubles. Here they kind of, see what you do, especially against righties. So he's been up 47 times, JP, and he's got 21 strikeouts. That's about a 40%.
That's
clip.
a no bueno.
That's a no bueno.
No bueno.
Clip. But even more muy no bueno is against right-handed pitching, where he's had 33 at-bats and 15 strikeouts. So he's almost had a 50% clip. Why, dare I say? It's because basically he's chasing and he goes and expands the strike zone too dramatically. What I'd like to see this kid do, and this is something, homework for this winter, maybe go out and play in the Arizona fall. He needs to get some more ups as you come into spring training, because I don't see a need for them to try to do some dramatic, Kim signing, like they did last year, and try to bring in some speculative, middle of the road, pay $10 million, shortstop. He should be the shortstop of the future and should
with
play.
Taylor Walls as your backup.
Hello, yes, of course.
Yeah.
Defensively, you could put Taylor anywhere in that infield, but definitely a short. You just slide him in at second, put him in at third for an emergency, but he can't be your everyday shortstop. It has to be Carson Williams. But what he has to learn is really take a page out of a Hall of Famer, albeit. But Derek Jeter early on in his first year was striking out a lot. And you know what he did? He broke it down, and he ended up kind of inside outing his hitting. He knew that
famous Oppo swing.
Yeah. And you've got the hammers behind you. You don't have to be the hammer. Let's not be Alex Rodriguez here. Let's not be, Cal Ripken Jr. Let's be,
even though you got pop. Carson's got pop.
The pop will come even better, because if you think about it, as Jeter's career progressed, he had a couple of seasons where he hit 24, 18, 35, but 27. But here's the catch: he still drove in 80 at times. He drove
hit 300 almost
and
every
hit
year.
300 every year. How? Letting the ball travel more, walking a little more. You can't. So the guy that he's kind of looking like, and is in year 3 of his career and is looking embarrassing this year, is Anthony Volpe.
Yeah.
Anthony Volpe is actually degressed instead of progressed. And I'm not even talking about his defense. This guy, 19 errors. I don't know what the hitting has gotten into his head.
Yeah.
Because this guy won a Gold Glove as a rookie. But Volpe, when I watch him, he expands the zone so much and overswings. But we're going to talk later on about overswinging and what's going on with hitting in baseball in general, and bring up the greats of the MLB this year, and Aaron Judge, and what a different hitter he is. But I think Carson Williams will be a star, not necessarily a superstar like Junior is turning out to be, but he will be a star if he can corral that.
Yeah, he's just got to learn a little bit. He's young, very young.
But the Rays are hurting, man. Listen, they got 4 more games in Chicago, 1 more against the White Sox, 3 against the Cubs that are battling and positioning themselves for a playoff run. It's just to the point now where all is not lost. But remember, listen, Texas
close.
won last night. Cleveland won last night. Seattle won.
Yeah,
the only team that lost that you're trying to climb over was KC, because they're playing Texas. So it
was the worst possible scenario. Worst possible scenario.
Forget about the other 3 vying. Obviously the Yankees and Boston lost, but it doesn't really matter.
No.
They're not going to be worried about them. And the Jays lost, but that's a different animal, which is who was going to jockey to possibly try to upend the Jays in the last.
I mean, we got 7 games left with the Jays, and Bichette's hurt, so he'll be out for a little bit. So that'll help. But it just you're running out of time. It's 17 games left. 17 games left.
Yeah.
So it's too far. It's 4.5.
I think it's a little much for how many you have to climb over.
Yeah.
Because
all right. So that being as it may, by the way, we're going to do Rays. We're going to talk about the gambling issues in baseball that are a big deal.
The elephant in the room.
We're going to ask if Orlando is done in this pursuit for baseball, and 300 hitters. So we got a lot of stuff to get to. And we might sprinkle in a Yogi Berra story or 2.
Ooh, I would love to. Yeah, because I've got
Jimmy
one
Leyland,
and you got
we
one.
both got one. Yeah, both sitting in the dugout with Yogi. It's kind of interesting.
By ourselves.
Yeah, just us.
We figured that out earlier before the show.
So Pepio missed the start.
Yeah.
And he says he has total body fatigue.
Total body fatigue.
If you went to Jimmy Leyland and said, "Hey, Skip." Yeah.
What's up, Big O? In 1988, when I was in the Pirates. Pretty much not starting every day. I was pinch hitting and spot starting against lefties.
You say,
so I'm fully well rested. I'm only 24 years old.
I got total body fatigue.
I got total body fatigue.
What would Skipper Leyland say to you?
On my deathbed, I'll have total recollection. At least I got that going for me, which is
total
nice.
consciousness.
Total consciousness.
Which is nice.
Which is nice. Llama. Hey, Llama.
A big hitter.
Yeah, that is not what Jim, the Skipper Leyland, would say.
What would he say to you? I got total body fatigue.
Total body fatigue? Is that what you got, buddy? JP, you got some total body fatigue? Listen, you better light one up and get your ass out on the field because you're playing today, and I don't want any hear about total body fatigue.
That's a good Leyland.
This is not happening right now. Dude, he would, with social media the way it is right now, God. he would be in trouble.
And we're not ripping on Pepio. We love Pepio, and he's been a horse this year. He's pitched every freaking day game in 100-degree weather.
But here's the part. You just mentioned it earlier. I mean, they try to keep that 20% thing. I mean, it's a big jump for a young arm. It's not the same as 20, 30 years ago. The arms came into the big leagues more prepared to last 200 innings.
Right.
In the minor leagues, they were throwing 180 innings. You know what I mean? That's not happening in the minor leagues nowadays. They're protecting these arms. And you know where their arms are getting actually more abused than in pro ball? It's amateur baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Because
early on in
their career, they're pitching every weekend, every day,
all year round.
Every game is hyped up because, believe it or not, those hyped up games that you got to win on Friday to get to Saturday, you got to win on Saturday to get to Sunday, it actually affects, you internally and your muscles because it's a different than light game on Saturday. We're going to get a ticket and get a pizza and a Coca-Cola, and everything is kind of lighthearted. Mm-hmm. No, these games are intense games. And it affects especially all these star pitchers that are pitching an immense amount of innings all summer long, all year long. So then they get into the big leagues or in the pro ball, and they're corralled back and they're babied to what I think it's babied. And you're not building them up properly. Their buildup is different than what it was in yesteryear when I was playing. And now you get to the big leagues, and understandably so, they fatigue out because they've
never done it.
They've never done it. So
this is Smoltzy's innings pitched in the season. In 1989, his first full season, 208, 231, 229,
right,
246, 243, 253, 256.
And that's relatively not that long ago.
No, that's 256 in 1997.
Right. So, that's
in 2006, he pitched 232 innings.
There you go. So that's 20 years ago, 19 years ago.
Yeah.
That's kind of when right around 10, 11, everything started changing and they started, pulling things back. The bullpen became so much more important. They started spreading out the games to, feature 5 or 6 pitchers to close out a full game. That was unheard of. The late but great and mentor of mine, Louis Tiant, I'll never forget him telling, and I do a good Tiant, by the way.
Oh, I hear that.
Louis had a very high-pitched voice. I have several voice messages that I've yet to ever erase. And I kept them on purpose because I knew one day he would pass away. And every now and then I just listened to him calling me and telling me that he was in
Havana when we went with the Rays. He was one of the great Cuban ball players,
the special players,
and they had a special press conference with him. And I was in there, and I remember because I hadn't, even though I watched him growing up,
you never really heard him.
I never thought I heard. And then he started talking.
Yeah.
I was like,
"Let me tell you, Orestes." He would call me, man. He leaves me a message. He goes, "Big O, let me tell you, man. Te quiero mucho. I love you, man." He loved me like a father, man. And I got to know him really well his last, let's say, 20 years of life. And
what a great dude.
And he would tell me, I go, "Louis, ¿qué pasa? What's going on with these guys? They can't throw 200 innings." He's like, "Ooh." He goes, "If I didn't throw 300 innings in a season, it was a bad season for me." 300, 301, these guys would throw 300 innings.
And let me ask you about this, because this is the great thing about the great Louis Tiant. If you never saw him pitch, he would. This would be a great time for you to do one of your demos. Anyway,
we'll get to those.
Louis would
keep watching the Big O show. We're gonna.
He would turn all the way around,
correct,
put his back to the,
then kind of look up
look to the Valenzuela.
You know why?
And then because he needed Back then, growing up,
I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
So the reason that came about, Louis was considered one of all time, okay, even including our oldest Chapman, the hardest thrower coming out of Cuba ever when he came out as a youngster, in his teens. He went to the Cleveland Indians through that incredible first rookie game in Yankee Stadium start, struck out 15, including Mantle, Maris, you name it, right, on that roster, right, in the late 60s. And subsequently, the next year, he fractured completely his scapula, his shoulder blade.
How?
Throwing 100 miles an hour.
It broke his scapula?
Broke his scapula. Didn't tell anybody. Remember, this is an era, first of all, diagnosis was totally different.
Right.
And you weren't about, man, the late Don Zimmer, I remember telling a group of us saying, oblique. First of all, I don't know how to spell that. And that was not a muscle that we must have had when I played. Oblique injury, it's almost like playoffs. Oblique.
What's an oblique?
What the hell's an oblique? He goes, bro, I used to just strap, Bengay and put wrap on it and get out to play. Well, Louis was the same. Louis basically told me, he goes, I couldn't tell him that. But what happened was he went from 95 fastball regularly. He was throwing 95 to 97, all the way to 85, 87. So they thought he was, fatigue. Talk about fatigue. They thought maybe he was
total body fatigue.
Total body fatigue. That's our phrase of the day, brought to you by
Viagra.
Total. If you have total body fatigue, is that one of our sponsors?
Get your blood pumping.
Hello, hims or hers. So bottom line is that, or he, she, or they, or thems. What happened was he was told, is your shoulder hurt? Oh, no, my shoulder's okay. I just a little tired. And he knew that there was something wrong, bro, but nothing. They didn't let them x-ray him. He didn't let him do caca. So a few weeks later, man, he was dealing like the best pitcher in Cleveland, one of the best pitchers in the American League. Finally, they said, hey, we got to check this out thoroughly. They found a crack freaking shoulder blade.
He was pitching with a broken scapula.
Pitching with it.
Oh my Jesus.
Shut him down, came back after it, was never truly ever the same. Cleveland trades him away. They said, you're
to Minnesota.
Back
1970.
Back in the day, you used to just, you get hurt or they just throw you away. You're done. There's not this, there's not Players Association back there to defend you, and definitely no agent. So he got sent to Minnesota. He battled through Minnesota. And then he recreated himself. By the time that he got to Boston, he did basically what Tommy John did. Tommy John was a harder thrower, but he had to learn to kind of turn balls over. So his thing was he wasn't a lefty that could trick him turning the ball over. He was a righty, so he created all the gyrations. He never had the gyrations.
He didn't do that. Oh,
no, he would just come at you and go boom, try to hit that baby.
But then.
Struck out 15 Yankees in his first game as starter.
I'm looking at his 1968
Look
year.
at the innings pitched.
And he was 27 years old in 1968. His WAR, 8.5.
Holy shit.
8.5.
How important was he?
His ERA with 34 starts, 1.60.
Dude, he was
21-9.
healing.
1.60 ERA.
How many innings?
258.
That one. But look down in the innings. He had a couple.
Oh, he had a 311.
311.
In 1974.
Right.
That was his tops.
Yeah. This guy regularly was over 200.
That was 1974.
So he reinvented himself.
Yeah, at 31, he was 15-6 with a 1.91 ERA, 6.5 WAR. The great Louis Dion.
Phenomenal guy, man. And
what a dude.
And the heart as big as Fenway Park.
See, this is the O show. The O show. You do not get this anywhere else, folks.
I've been blessed. I've been blessed.
No disrespect, but Locked On Rays, where the kids talk about baseball, which is great. It's fine. We love it. But this is the show where you get one-on-one, first person Luis Dion.
Yeah, El Tiante, man.
You should,
and one of the most giving.
Call up that. We'll do that on the show if you can't do it now.
No, shoot.
You got his voicemail,
bro.
You put it right up to the mic.
Are you kidding me?
I would love to hear Luis Dion's voice.
Are you kidding me? I listened to it.
Just passed away last year.
Just passed away last year. Let's go, Louis.
Come on. Are you serious?
Yeah.
Come on. The great Luis Diant. If you're a Red Sox fan, I didn't even know he pitched for Cleveland, to be honest with you. I only knew him as a Red Sox guy. All right, if we can,
I get it.
Your technology skills are as good as mine.
I'll get out of here. Let me start it from the beginning again.
The great Luis Diant.
Better. Wait. I want you to hear the beginning because it's awesome.
I can't understand what he's saying. Mi tía.
This is a Christmas call that he gave me.
He said, how's your family?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a Christmas call. And he goes, make sure that God takes care of all your family. I was thinking about you. I love you and wanted to just wish you a happy.
That's a keeper right there. You're absolutely right. That is a keeper, man.
I got several. Those are guys, the guys like that, man. The guys like, another, in Spanish, we call him a tocayo. Tocayo means somebody that shares the same name as you. Not that you were named after him,
right?
But you happen to have John, but Orestes is a very unique name, right? It's a Greek mythology name that worked this way, like many different cultures that stopped in Cuba, right? Because Cuba has probably the most diverse history because of being the biggest island and the most fervent island and soil-rich island that all these, conquistadors would stop there. French, Spaniard, Greek, you name it, Jews. That's why you have Jubans that are born,
Jubans.
Yeah, Jewish descent that married, the natives, and and you just end up having Jewish Cubans.
A Cuban sandwich, you got a Juban sandwich, also known as a Reuben.
Actually stores in Miami.
That's a Reuben.
Yeah, there's restaurants in Miami.
They sell the Juban.
They're called the Juban stores.
It's like a Reuben. It's like a Reuben,
but a Juban. But so Cuba had this rich
corned beef and the cabbage and the sauerkraut. Get the pumpernickels down the deli down in Miami Beach.
Oy vey, tranquilo y tropical. Who'd have thought it?
Is there anything better than the Jews and Cubans down in the cigar bars in Miami Beach?
First of all, they basically built up Miami.
Yeah,
I mean, in the 50s and 60s, it was the Jews and the Cubans coming in together and building.
You got Carlos over here, Saul over there.
This is
you got to go to Pumpernickel's. That's the best deli in North Miami Beach.
Saul Martinez, he's a phenomenal guy.
Saul Martinez.
Yeah, one of my best friends.
When the Jews marry the Cubans, and then you get a Juban.
That's what
you get. A Juban. Right.
David Magrisso, a very good businessman here in town.
I had no idea.
But Orestes came in from Greece. And one of my other great guys, and I have some of his voicemails before he passed away a few years ago, the great Minnie Minoso, Orestes Minoso. Speaking of the Rays playing in Chicago, he has a statue, one of the few statues that are sitting out, in the back of the Chicago White Sox Stadium. Orestes Minoso is another mentor of mine that just told me stories. Orestes Minnie Minoso. Yes. In the Hall of Fame, by the way.
We know him well.
Yeah. So, All right.
So back on track. We were talking about total body fatigue. That Luis Diant never got, and you never got. But it is a real thing for Pepio, who's been a horse all this year, and he's pitched great, and he's a huge part of what we're doing moving forward. So, I mean, if the Rays don't win today, even if they do, I mean, we're going to shut him down, right? What's the point?
I think this week will be the telltale sign of if Pepio pitches again this year. And if they don't go out and win the next 4 games straight, then all of a sudden, something could possibly happen.
There's no reason for him to pitch.
Let's say, Seattle has a glitch, Texas is playing Kansas City. So that's kind of you're winning and losing there. It's a toss up because somebody's
going to win. Somebody's going to lose.
Cleveland needs to, dump it. And, but if those things happen, which stranger things have happened, then I see Ryan getting one more start and trying to see if we can, figure something out. Other than that, they go 2-2, between the last game with the White Sox and 3 with the Cubs. Personally, I shut them down.
Of course.
I shut them down. No doubt about it. But, Jimmy Leyland, might not have shut him down. You
keep going.
Skip Leyland would be like,
"You're getting paid.
You kidding me?
You're getting paid.
Smoke this unfiltered Camel, and you'll be all right."
Speaking of great managers, small, diminutive characters.
Loved them back in the day.
You played for Yogi Berra.
Well,
the Yankees.
I actually
spring
didn't I didn't get a chance to get up to. I got to the big leagues with Lou Piniella, but Yogi was the manager when I got sent down. I had a really good spring, and back in 84, 85, I can't remember. He was there 84 and 85, so I can't remember which one this was, but in both I got sent down, to AAA and whatnot, and I was just so in awe of the fact that Yogi Berra was managing me even in the minor league, even in just spring training games, and when you get sent down, it's different ways of managers doing it. Most of them just bring you into their office, right? The old gay kid, bring your playbook, like in football. So basically with baseball, usually it's in the manager's office, but Yogi had a cool way of doing it. And he liked to respect the young prospects. So he would call you to come with him, walk with him down the tunnel to the dugout, just you and him. And he would tell you how he thought your game was this spring and what he thinks you needed to improve at. And he's going to keep an eye on you. So I had this like one-on-one, with Yogi at 22 years old, just staring at him.
Oh my God.
And being so, just think he's telling me stuff. And I still remember to this day, like, man, you've got a lot of power, switch hitter, you're going to have a really good career, blah, blah, blah. But as I'm almost looking through him and thinking, this is Yogi Berra, Mickey Mantle.
I'm sitting there in the Yankees dugout talking to Yogi Berra.
Joe DiMaggio. This guy goes all the way back to the lore of
10 World Series.
Of the greatness of not just the Yankees, but the lore of the greatness of this incredible greatest game in America, really, when you look at it.
Oh, he's just one of the central figures, huh?
He is one of the central figures. So I was kind of like upset that I got sent down, but like, I went back in and
it's got to be the best
called
speech.
My dad in a payphone back in the day and said, "Dad, I got sent down," but it was Yogi Berra who sent me down. So, you had an experience.
I did.
It was around the same time because
it was almost the same year.
Yeah,
1985.
Yeah.
I'm a cub reporter. I'm just starting my journalism career as a student reporter at Florida State.
Yeah,
and the Yankees come to Hauser Stadium because of Dick Hauser.
Yeah, for 4 or 5 years they did.
Yeah, and Hauser had the Yankees come to Florida State.
Yeah,
and Dick grew up in Tallahassee, lived in Tallahassee, and so the Yankees were there, and that was a big deal.
It's huge.
It was a huge deal.
Yeah.
So I get my 3/4 inch camera and my big deck, man. It's like 80 pounds of equipment.
With the strap,
I'm like, hoping to get, so Mattingly was on that team. Yeah. I'm hoping to get
Dave
Mattingly, Winfield.
Yeah. Ricky Henderson was on that team.
I mean, who else was on that team?
Ron Guidry.
Dude. Louisiana Lightning.
Bucky Dent. No, Bucky Dent was done. No, he was done. I mean, it's a stellar team. Mike Pagliarulo was probably
Willie Randolph.
Willie Randolph was on that team.
Probably the saxophone guy in center field. What's his name?
No. You're thinking Bernie Williams?
Yeah.
No. He was later.
Okay.
He was later.
So anyway,
early 90s.
so I show up and I get there a little early, and there's a lone figure in the dugout, in the Yankees dugout, and I'm walking up,
by himself,
sitting there by himself, and I'd seen pictures of Yogi Berra, but I'd seen him on team. So I'm looking in there and I'm like, that's Yogi.
That's
Yogi Berra.
The one and only, brother.
It's freaking Yogi Berra. And I know that, there's like, there's going to be a press conference and all this stuff. And I'm like, what the hell?
You're a youngster, though.
I'm a youngster. I'm a young cub reporter. I'm like, I'm going to go right up there to Yogi and ask him if he would do an interview.
You ballsy.
I did. So I walk him and I said, Mr. Berra?
Nobody else around.
He looks at me and he goes, "Hey, kid." I'm like,
with that New York accent. Hey, kid.
You might have, I can get an interview with you. He's like, sure.
Right.
Why not? And so I'm like setting up my tripod and my camera and everything. And I'm trying to get everything. He's just like, he's sitting there laughing at me.
Oh my God.
He goes, you all right there, kid?
What did you ask him, man?
I remember asking him what it's like to work for the boss. Gotcha. Steinbrenner. I thought that was like a very interesting question.
Heyday of fiery.
Yeah. And I was like, he's been known to fire a manager or two.
Right.
And he laughed. Billy, But he couldn't have been nicer.
Yeah.
Could not have been nicer, and gave me all the time. And I'm sure I asked a lot of stupid questions. And he's like, you did all right, kid.
Yeah.
You did all right. I'm like,
that's
thanks.
one of the things, man, that the personas of baseball, especially the yesteryear players, because remember, there was an age where baseball really kind of dominated the sports scene.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
even in the mid 80s then still did. I mean, football didn't really take that traction until I think the later 80s, once ESPN had about a decade.
Agreed, yeah. Baseball was king.
Baseball was king
for a long time.
People will wake up and the first thing they do is look at that box score.
Everyone, right? I memorized every team.
Whatever happened. And since the fact that even on TV, you got to see these people face to face. You see them at plate, pitching in the dugout, the managers, you felt like you knew them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that that's the greatness of baseball, that a little different than football, where even throughout all the years and decades, they have the helmets. It's kind of sometimes you might not realize who is who, you know what I mean? Because you don't get to see him unless he's the quarterback that gets interviewed all the time. So baseball is unique, man. And the diminutive managers, that's always been a special thing for me, because I played for one. You mentioned Jim Leyland. Yeah. There's 4 to me that come, that were like forces, man, in the game. And that's and it's not Yogi, believe it or not. For me, it's Billy Martin. Mm-hmm. It's Jim, Skip Leyland. Mm-hmm. It's Earl Weaver. Mm-hmm. And then the other one is Sparky Anderson.
Sparky, yeah.
And you had a chance to, I had a chance to play there. You love that team. You had a chance to also, I got to play for Jim Leyland and got to see
Big Red Machine,
the little general do his thing. And those guys, the uniqueness is none of them was over 5'5", bro. But they walk into a room, and me, who I'm almost 6'5", Bobby Bonilla, Barry Bonds, Andy Van Slyke, we'd be like, yes, sir. You know what I mean? And it was the same thing with
the way they carried themselves.
The Orioles players with Boog Powell and all these big guys. Yes, sir, Mr. Weaver. You know what I mean? The only guy I think that talked back to Earl Weaver was Jim Palmer, because Jim Palmer told him one time that he was going to come out, take on the game. He goes, Earl, you better just turn right back around. And Earl said, really? Okay. And he turned around and Palmer finished the game. But other than that, man, you did not F-U-C, you know what.
Weaver didn't say, no, right here in the analytics, Jim, it says you're not going through the lineup the third time.
You know what his
that conversation wasn't.
You know what his analytics? Hey, have 3 incredible starters and hit 3-run homers. That was his analytics.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That's how they play.
Yeah. All right. So we're pretty much, I'm going to say done with the Rays, but this is going to be, we'll see what happens in the next few days.
You mean with the segment of the Rays?
Yeah.
We're done with the Rays.
We're done with the Rays for the segment, and they're done for the season.
Damn. JP, once again, you're gay.
I cooked them a couple weeks ago. I still think
you cooked them a month ago, if I remember right.
A couple months ago, maybe. But
we'll see, man. Listen, it's a tough climb. There's too many teams to climb over. That's the problem.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on to a topic that I think it's probably not getting a lot of play because the networks don't want to talk about it. Baseball don't want to talk about it.
Yeah,
but it's a thing, and it's called gambling.
Yeah.
And it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And there's these prop bets that seem to really have some issues. And so Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz have both been suspended, 2 Indians pitchers, because of some illegal, well, I shouldn't say illegal, I should say abnormal activity.
Abnormal is the
abnormal betting activity on first pitch striker ball.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, and listen, I'm all for different props and everything, but this one strikes me, pun intended, as one that probably needs to go away because
the prop bets.
Yeah, this particular prop bet, the first strike.
Yeah.
What the first pitch, is it a strike or a ball?
Yeah, 100%.
Because
you could just clear off the integrity part.
Yeah, because it's, we have enough to bet on. Yeah. We can limit because it's controlled by one person. Right. It's easy for the pitcher to dirt it.
Right.
And you don't have to worry about the umpire calling it a strike or it being a strike. You can easily take care of this by dirting the ball.
That's a simple one.
It's a simple one. And anybody could do it. And from a competitive standpoint, if you're a pitcher, you're like, look, I'll come back and get, it's not going to kill us in a game.
Yeah.
If somebody's going to pay me $100,000, $300,000, or wipe off my debt of $500,000 that I built up through gambling myself.
Yeah,
this is what they're really worried about.
Or you're being exploited because they have something on you.
Blackmail.
Yeah,
whatever. It's too easy for the player to control that particular prop bet.
Correct.
Now, you could say that about a lot of different props, but this one is just, it doesn't really hurt your team. It's easy to do, and it's easy to bet on.
And that's what happened with this situation because, listen, I played for, almost 16 years, and I can tell you many, many times that I had a pitcher surprisingly throw a 52, foot curveball. It's 62, so inches, so feet. So listen, that happens. They hold on to it too tight, and you're like, whoa, that was a weird pitch, but just a nondescript. The problem is that at the moment that Clase and Ortiz did that, the bets were already spiked up that there was going to be a ball. First pitch ball, by the way.
First pitch ball.
And these pitches were like dramatically balls. So the umpire would have umpire and hitter will have no chance because maybe
he ain't going to swing at it.
Maybe you have a Carson Williams who's swinging at everything right now. And he's like, I'm swing, because you're taught as a hitter, believe it or not. Swing, take. You know what I mean? So that's not going to happen on that type of pitch. But the thing, firstly, I agree with you. Prop bets need to go away.
Not all prop bets.
Not all. No. Those unique, those simple, kind of useless bets that can create this type of, problem. The surprise in this one with these two guys, who, by the way, have been suspended, but the discipline still is waiting. The MLB's doing their due diligence, dramatic due diligence, because they don't want to make a mistake on this. Okay, they know that crazy pitch, crazy betting. We got to look into this thing. But in the meantime, Cleveland lost arguably the best closer in the game, other than maybe Suarez over there in the National League. Clase is in a Class A by himself.
Oh, well done.
Thank you very much. I
well
appreciate
done.
it. If I had a little applause, it would be nice. But that one I don't get, because this guy's in the precipice of signing for $20-30 million a year. He's also making millions already this year. Ortiz, smidgen. I hate that anybody would even cheat the game, but I can see Ortiz doing it because he's still an up and coming player, not in making heavy seven figures. But Class A, why would he even consider doing a stupidity like that?
To your point,
if in fact he was tied into the prop bet,
right, and it may not, even though he's
still alleged,
because
they're still getting paid.
Ortiz, by the way, like you said, doesn't make a lot of money. You could approach him if you're a gambler and say, "I'll give you $200,000-$300,000 the dirt of
money
pitch
for him making $750 or something." Right.
Hard to say no to that. Let's just be honest.
Well, it should be, but
hard to say no.
Right.
Right. And
thinking that you would never be caught.
Of course, you're not going to get. But whoever's stupid enough to make a big bet on that, it's going to obviously send the alarms off. But even collectively is how they look at this stuff, because this all goes in to data points, of course, that can be analyzed,
right? And
especially now that betting is legal, they can do that. So
that's where the red bells went off.
Now, if you're betting with a bookie or something,
that's a little different.
It's really different.
Yeah,
because they won't suspend you.
Yeah,
they'll kill you.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, and that kind of leans over.
It's kind of a permanent suspension.
That's a permanent suspension that they don't mess around with. But that leans into another. Listen, last year, you had the Shohei Ohtani, scandal, and it's not his scandal. It's his interpreter, Ipe scandal. Now, just even though kind of they levied the suspensions per se last year, on Pat Hoberg, it's been official now that he will never, umpire again. And that one, if you don't know the story of it, he was, stupid enough to share an account or be added onto an account with his buddy who, oh, by the way, is a professional poker player, gambler, bets on baseball, bets on everything. And he was tagged to his account in Iowa. Well, that looks terrible because even though
why would you do that?
Well, he wanted to bet, and he was using his account. He thought that it was, it was okay. And though they couldn't find any bets by Hoberg on baseball, you leave the opening for, did he give him some insider trading type situation?
Exactly.
So Hoberg, to his defense last year, took everything and kind of owned up and said, I left too much room for questioning.
Yeah.
But it goes to another stratosphere though, brother, because here's the point. Okay. The point is there's two things about this that are most important: integrity
Integrity of the game.
and money.
Yeah.
So those are kind of coming together and causing havoc, because you have integrity of any game, but we're talking baseball here with the Ohtani Ippei situation, with Ortiz, in Class A, obviously with Pat Hoberg, some other questionable scenarios, back in the day, David Fletcher, who was tied into Ippei and Ohtani, having introduced, Ippei to Matt Bauer, who, by the way, don't miss it. Next Tuesday, Matt Bauer, the most notorious and the biggest of all time bookies, will be on the JP Peterson show next Tuesday,
and the Big O show,
by extension. Tied together by extension. But he's going to be here live in town, and I'm
really looking forward to.
If you haven't had a chance,
and he's going to talk,
and he's going to talk. He's talking. He's now talking. He's going to be going in to spend a little time for.
So explain again who this is. This is Matt Boyers, who was the bookie.
Is he's the most notorious, biggest bookie in a 5-year period of time. He placed over $1 billion worth of bets on all sports. So he was covering. He became national with his repertoire of
big time gamblers.
Big time, not just gamblers. No, he created a network in all the states, because he was just a California guy for many, many years. Mm-hmm. And then he decided to go, no national. Pun intended, but he went on steroids basically. And he became the most, regarded illegal gambling bookie of all time. And got finally, they came after him during the Ippei scenario. So
Ippei was the interpreter for
Shohei Ohtani. Ippei is on record by Matt Bowers. Still owes Matt $44 million. Ippei in a 2-year period of time. So says Matt Bowers, and also I believe documented in the FBI reports. And the court reports, placed over $300 million worth of bets. Just Ippei. So Matt's going to tell.
Didn't lose that much, but just
he didn't lose that much. He bet that much.
Yeah, but he lost a significant amount.
He
owes him $44 million.
$44 million. He also told me that there's a Uber athlete that one he can't mention, that still owes him $16 million.
$16 million.
Yeah. So on the books. So
God, I'm down like $1.50 to my bookie. I feel terrible.
And you're feeling terrible. You're
$16 million.
You're like,
jeez, Pete.
Yeah. So this guy's going to be on the show. But the bottom line to that, when I was talking about integrity and money, that's where it's kind of converging, because how do you keep the game, all games, baseball,
on the up and
pro
up,
games, college games, amateur games, on the up and up, when you have these type of prop bet availabilities, some other situations. Look at the NBA dealing with a couple of major players. Yeah. Look at the referees in certain sports.
We have to take out that, like that particular one is a perfect example. We have to take out the easy ones.
The easy ones.
That
easily was the same thing with NBA. Yeah. It was I think rebounds or something with the one guy from the Toronto Raptors.
Yeah.
But the bottom line
is, and when you can bet, and the other part is when you can bet unders.
Yeah, understand. That was an under, yeah.
Unders are, and I know, under overs, they are what they are, but maybe if you just get credit for overs because you got to do something. Whereas in unders, you don't have to do something. It's easy for a player to get, look, I'm supposed to get 10 rebounds. Let me get 8. Nobody notices.
Or not even do that. Just have 7 and you look up and you go, oh, my knee.
Right.
I got to take I'm out of the game.
It's so easy to control.
Boom.
Where overs, you can't control.
You can't control.
You can't control that. So,
but here I'm going to say one more thing, and I want your opinion on this. So here's the hypocrisy potentially of this. So I look at the history of 4 major businesses in the United States dating back to turn of the century that businesses and government finally said, why aren't we making hundreds of millions and not billions of dollars? Number 1, alcohol.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Prohibition came in and they were like, it's illegal to drink.
It's bad.
Finally, They legalized it.
Let's tax the shit out of it.
And they taxed the shit out of it.
What about cigarettes? Hell yeah, tax the shit.
Actually, cigarettes, no, but cigarettes was never illegal, though. Cigarettes were never illegal. I'm talking about illegal, quote unquote.
Yeah, because all the
alcohol was illegal.
Huh?
Lottery was illegal. Remember the numbers
gambling,
racket, or what we called in the Latin communities and neighborhoods, la bolitas, which is the little, you would pay $5, $1.50, and then they would have weekly drawings, right? And the United States finally said, wait a second, this is happening throughout all the major boroughs and major cities.
Why should organized crime get all the money?
Why should organized crime
Let's do it ourselves. Yeah.
Let's create the state lotto.
Right.
The rest is history, right? And then the other one is weed. I mean, weed finally was illegal. Now it's legal in so many states.
Because we can make money off of it.
We can tax the hell out of this. Yeah. And now the fourth one is turning sports gambling from illegal to legal. Obviously, there's parameters. You got to stay in your same state. You have to do certain things. But they're throwing it down our throats in every commercial, every digital format, from TikTok to everywhere. It's pushing.
It's funny how the leagues have embraced it now. Remember, they used to be, we can't get involved. And they're like, we can make how much money? Okay. Yeah.
I still remember the first time that I held a mic flag that said Bally Sports on it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
think about that, Bally Sports.
Wait a second.
Isn't that a casino? And before, you couldn't even mention gambling in the clubhouse.
Dude, if you said, you
get suspended for life.
I'll bet you we're going to win the game today. Just joking.
Just joke.
Like, don't do that.
People would say that.
Yeah.
Wow. Taboo.
What do you know?
What do you know? DJ betting. So we'll see how that. But look for Matt Bowers coming on.
It's going to be on Tuesday. Check out JP show.
All right. By the way, a segment that we love to do. It's called Oh, by the way. Get it?
Yeah.
Where we take a couple other little segments here. So, oh, by the way, Aaron Judge is not going to win the batting title. What? Wasn't he up by like 70 points?
He was up by 900 points at the point of the season. Listen, it really was kind of sick for a while. First couple months, he was hitting like 400. So you knew that was going to go away. Then he was consistently in the 360s, and
which is ridiculous.
And I'm looking at it, and you're
with power.
You're into month 4, and you're like, this dude is like sick. He's going to end up hitting 350 with 50 home runs and 120. Then he gets hurt and missed a couple of solid weeks. He's come out of that hurt injury with his elbow, and he hasn't really been the same. Let's be candid. Nope. It's still obviously he's playing through an injury, and I commend him, and I take my Sable Lions hat off to him. But in the interim, another youngster, dare I say, a rookie. Okay, there's 2 rookies. One's going to lose to his bigger brother, Nick Kurtz. But Jack Wilson also gets hurt. Consistently was hitting 320 this year, 330, gets hurt, misses a few weeks, comes back, but he comes back like a house on fire.
Yeah.
And he's actually caught Judge, and they're both hitting 319. It's going to go down.
There's no triple crown this year.
No, there's no triple crown because you had the Cal Raleigh watch.
That's right.
Cal Raleigh watch real quick inside of by the way. No home runs the last couple of days, so he's still sitting, on 53. One away from, taking the catcher's title of most home runs by a catcher catching. And more importantly, going after
the switch hitting.
One more.
Which is Mantle 54.
Mickey, speaking of Yogi Berra and that lore, Mickey Mantle at 54. So we'll keep on with the Cal Raleigh watch. But another thing that ties into, and by the way, leading the league in batting. This stat that I found was crazy, bro. Number of 300 hitters in the last several years, but namely, here's a few years that were like really hot, and then what's happened the last couple of years. In 1999, guess how many 300 hitters there were?
25.
55 300 hitters.
55 300 hitters?
How could our offense have gone so dramatically down?
What year was this?
1999, bro.
Just 99.
55 300 hitters, right? 2004, 36. 2009, 42. 2014, 17. You see the kind of the tail off.
We're dipping.
Okay. It's dipping like this as the swings have gone like this.
Right.
So as the 300 hitters have gone away,
the launch angle
has come up.
Right.
If you're going to tell me that there's no correlation, I beg to differ. By the way, 2019, there was 19. It took a little peak up. 2024, there was only 7. We've got 5 this year.
7 in 2024?
Yeah, last year only
5
7.
This year and 55 in 1999.
55.
That's ridiculous.
So what is that telling you, man? I mean, it's just, for me, it's egregious.
And then we got rid of the shifts, and we thought that was supposed to work.
Yeah, but right, the shifts should help you, but it's not about the shifts. The shifts should help you get more hits, right? So they created getting rid of the shifts to open up some alleys.
Yeah, but it hasn't.
It hasn't. But it's not about that, man.
It's really about,
and in fact, if you think about it, 3 of the guys that are in the top, 7 or 8 are, oh, by the way, is Guerrero, Blue Jays, Bichette, Blue Jays, and Springer, Blue Jays. So that's one of the reasons, because they have some of the best contact hitters with power in all the major leagues. Milwaukee, it really doesn't compare. They've been hitting a lot of surprising home runs in August and into September, but really, Judge still at 319, Wilson at 319, Bichette 311.
Well, it's easier to hit in Canada.
Wow. Is it is there an exchange with
that? Yeah. There's an exchange.
So you get, it goes up.
Yeah. It's like the money thing.
So 290 when you cross
really the border. Yeah, exactly. So that's why they got more out. You didn't know that? It's a different metric system.
Ay, mi madre. We have a problem. At Houston, we have a problem.
So, by the way, I want to thank our sponsors, Texas Roadhouse in Wesley Chapel, a fine restaurant there. We were there just the other day. Unfortunately, we didn't get to eat because they weren't open for lunch when we were having our little business meeting.
Many a time, and it's fantastic.
It's fantastic, isn't it? You these days, I want to go out for a steak dinner. Yeah. Like, it's like, all right, first let me check with the accountant.
Yeah.
Before I leave the house. Right. But no, if you're going to Texas Roadhouse, you don't have to worry about it.
You got to deposit on the account first and make sure.
I get paid this month.
Yeah.
No, you bring the kids and the family, and it's such a wonderful, welcoming place there. It's been there for 15 years. Your boy Tyler runs it.
Hamilton runs it and does a great job. They have a personal butcher, not chef. They have a butcher, bro. Yeah. Cutting the meat, like you were always saying.
Hand-cut steaks.
It's hand-cut steaks. You do not get that, at other steakhouses, including the Outbacks and
they're vacuum packed.
They're vacuum packed. Not saying they're not good. They're just not great. By the way, cost wise, this is comfort food at a comfortable price, and
I love that.
Love that place, man.
Great atmosphere, very family atmosphere. Yeah. Relaxed. They got a great
Wiregrass.
By the way, if you're a sports guy and you want to go have a meal, like a lot of times you're by yourself and it's like, I'm going to watch the game. They have a great bar. They have a great sports bar.
Surprising how many.
Who was the Jen? Was her name? Jen, the bartender.
Surprising how many big screen TVs they have at that place.
Yeah, and I really wanted that's a great place to have a steak.
Yeah,
and a baked potato and a nice fresh thing of broccoli
and a cerveza.
Hello.
Oh, I'm reloading.
Fría. La fría cerveza.
See, he does know Spanish.
Sí.
Gentlemen.
Más.
Sí. He only knows the important things like más cerveza and ¿a dónde está el baño? Where's the bathroom?
Yes, I know what that is. It was a Spanish one. Está Susana en casa.
Before we go, I'll teach all our peeps from JP Morgan, look at me. JP Peterson.
Well, if only I had that kind of money.
JP Morgan. Oh, you go back to the 1800s.
I wish. I wish that was my kin.
You're a bad guy, actually, if you're JP Morgan. But from JP Peterson's crew to everybody, here's a quick, put it right on me here, and I'm going to show it to you.
Stand by.
Here you go.
Stand by. Camera one.
Here's a quick Spanish lesson for everybody. And I'll reoccur this one every now and then for those that don't get it. But if you want to learn a Spanish phrase, this is taught to me by Yaya, 92-year-old, was a Spanish teacher for 45 years, right, in Miami and in Cuba. And she told me this years ago, and because she was working with the American kids and they were having trouble phrasing and saying sentences. If you spell the word socks, what you wear on your feet, SOCKS. If you just say that word spelled out, don't try to, stall it. Just go SOCKS. That actually means it is what it is in Spanish. SOCKS.
It is what it is.
There you go.
SOCKS.
Spanish 101 by the Big O.
Nice. So that's Texas Roadhouse in Wesley Chapel. Go see them. Kingmakers, where we are coming to you live from right now, the Kingmakers studio. We have a broadcast studio here that you can use.
Yeah.
We have a right across the wall here, we have my golf simulator. I played Pebble Beach yesterday. Fabulous.
How'd you do in the 7th hole? With the water.
You know what the problem was? I didn't have.
You didn't have water?
I didn't go in the water, but I didn't have más cervezas, por favor.
Hey, we served cervezas.
I know, but I wasn't. It was during the workday, so I just took a quick lunch break to play Pebble Beach.
That's why you didn't.
So that's what you could do here at Kingmaker.
Yeah, you can.
We have a sports bar out there to watch all the games. We have offices here that you can work in Midtown Tampa. This can be your satellite office if you don't.
9 to 5.
If you need one.
Yeah.
And then you can hit the golf simulator. You can use the production studio.
Rent the venue.
Rent the venue. All that great stuff. But you got to be a member.
Yes.
You got to be a member. And the memberships are going to go fast because they're just now opening them up.
Kingmakers.com. KingmakersTampa.com.
KingmakersTampa.com.
Ask for Big O or ask for Ryan.
And got Genesis of Tampa. Those great Genesis cars.
Be more careful.
It's a beautiful, beautiful new dealership out on 801 East Bears.
Yeah.
And it's got the great Genesis vehicles that are so luxurious and fast and well built.
So sexy.
Sex. They are sexy.
They're actually they are sexy.
That GV80.
Yeah, they're sexy.
Oh.
And again, one of those type of things that I think the JP Peterson and the Big O and the Fan Stream Sports bring you quality products for a quality price. Because think about it. You can't get that much quality and all the trimmings that a Genesis product has for the price.
No, it's ridiculous.
That,
the value is off the charts.
The value is off the charts.
You want to go get your Range Rover because you got to have
your
that
BMW
because you got to have that.
Benzo.
on your Instagram. Go ahead.
Been there, done that.
You want a better car at a better price? Genesis
there you go.
Of Tampa. Tell them JP sent you. Part of the Murphy Auto Group. All right. A couple more. Oh, by the ways, the Orlando Dreamers.
Oh, by the way,
are they done? Are they done?
By the way, brother, I don't know if they're done just yet. There's some rumblings after the first, couple days ago. Workman, their lead investor, joins the new team. With Zalewski, and everybody's like, "Oh, well, that's great. The Orlando's done."
So not so fast, my friend.
Yeah. Not so fast, my friend. Not so fast, my friend. Because
camera one, not so fast, my friend.
Not so fast, my friend.
Of course,
I like to do it with
an Orlando guy.
Not so fast, my friend.
There you go.
That's right. Lee Corso's an Orlando guy.
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
how to tie this together.
So here's how I
tell me how you see it, because I see it a particular way.
I see it as you're bringing in Workman from Orlando. First of all. Sorry, Orlando.
Yeah, man.
I tried to tell you and John Morgan months and months and months ago. It's not happening. You're just being used as leverage.
Stole the guy.
Stu came and whispered in your ear, to get the price up for him, and you thought you were getting the team, and he just used you to get more money.
We might get it. We might go to Orlando.
And I told you that's what he was going to do.
We used to have the Orlando Rays over there.
It's like the I told you it's like the stripper. You think the stripper loves you? No, it's not how it works.
You don't think so?
No. He just whispered in your ear and you fell in love, and it was a bad idea. So now they get Workman. Workman's like out of nowhere, he shows up in the Zalewski group, and all the people in Orlando are going, "Hey, what? Where? Our lead investor just went over there." Which, by the way, happens a lot. And it's happened in this deal more than you know. There's about 4 or 5 groups that have been trying to get the Rays for about 6, probably a year. And these different investors have been jumping ship from one to the other, signing NDAs.
Over here.
They sign their NDA and run to the next group the next day. It's the story when it comes out at the end is going to be great.
You know why that is, and I want you to continue. But the bottom line is, how many baseball teams are there?
Not many.
30,
and a chance to buy one. It's like betting. It's like, I like this group. They got a lot of money. They look like they're in a good space here. The commissioner says we're good because he does that a lot.
Yeah.
He says, so I like this group. And then you find out, like I told you months ago, that's not the group. This is the group over here. And they probably came to Workman. And as I said, they'll cherry pick investors from every group. They probably get to Workman and say, hey, listen, Orlando's not helping it. Do you want to be a baseball owner? Do you want to be in a group that's going to get the team? Go with Zalewski. And he said, okay.
Wait a second. I'm going to drop a second. Not so fast, my friend.
That's my friend.
Here's my take.
All right.
Yes, he wants to be part of an ownership team that's going to win, right? So that's the team that's going to win the race.
Actually going to get the team, yeah.
Yet, he's severely tied to Orlando.
Why is that,
Because he knows that the bottom line is the stadium has to be built. And I think it's going to push the narrative here in Tampa and the municipalities of Hillsborough and the city of Tampa to get off the schneid.
I agree.
And finish a deal.
100%.
Because if there's a little sliver of an opportunity, you just work the deal, pun intended, with workmen in order to go possibly back to Orlando. Oh, by the way, there's a ton of money in Orlando. Oh, by the way, they get the most tourists in the United States of America. It doesn't mean they're
going to go. I think it will fail there.
No, I'm just saying that
it doesn't matter.
Scares a little bit.
So I agree with you in the sense that, and I think this is a great political move by Ken Hagan and this group, because what it does is and Hagan has said this, look, it's Tampa's to lose. And he's going to present to the board, the county commission, and the city commission and the TSA, who are going to have to vote on this.
Right.
And they're going to present a plan. Here's our financing plan. Here's where it's going to be. This is how much public money is coming in.
Right.
This is what it's going to cost. This is how it's funded. It's not going to be property tax money. It's not going to be taken from the police or fire or any of that stuff. This is going to be special taxing districts. It's going to be SITS money, which is hotel tax, bed tax money, which Hillsborough has a ton of.
Right.
And it's doubled in the last few years. So all these people say Hillsborough has no money. That's ridiculous. It's stupid. You're just, that's false narrative. They don't have all the money in the world, and they're not going to give it to you up front like St. Pete did, but their money is there long term.
That was the problem.
The money is there long term in Hillsborough County, and they're going to make it a fair deal for the city. Fair deal for the state is going to put some money in terms of infrastructure.
Right.
So this is what I'm seeing. I'm not reporting this as fact. This is what I'm hearing. This is the plan. This is the framework. So, and then the developer's going to put in money as well. So you've got lots of different sources, none of it which is going to be, full taxpayer money that's just going to fund a billionaire. That's not going to be how this is structured.
That's the key, because
it's not going to be. And this ownership group is going to put in up to 60%, which of course the old ownership group, Stu Sternberg, didn't want to spend more than a dime.
Yeah.
So
at most 10%. But here's the catch at the end there that you were talking about, because, again,
if Tampa doesn't vote for it,
right?
Orlando's back in.
No, not even that. Let's just say that it's that it goes the way it's supposed to go. It has to be, and you're going to like my phrase, it has to be for the people.
Yeah.
Meaning that people cannot get taxed on that. The people cannot, it can't be, 50-50 or 60-40, some crazy thing like that, where they're giving a snake out to the billionaire owners, because there's a guy in Orlando that we know very well here. It is known now nationally
for the people
by the name of John Morgan.
Morgan. You mean that John Morgan?
Yeah, John Morgan. He said, livid right now.
This is his
livid
quote. I'm out. The fix is in. I'll have to find another place to invest $300 million. What I believe will now happen is this group will seek a sweetheart deal in Tampa while stringing the prospects of Orlando as a bargaining chip. Gets lots of free land and entitlements and makes a real estate profit on the surrounding land and the taxpayers' expense. Certainly not for the people, but for the rich people.
Oh, Nelly.
Yeah. And by the way, that's exactly what John Morgan was going to do to Orlando. Is get the real estate deal and have you pay for it, which is exactly. He's like, but I'm out now because I'm
taking my $300
my other guy left and went to Tampa. He says, I have zero interest in investing in Tampa. We don't want your money. I just wish the commissioner had been more forthright with his intentions. It's like I told you from the very beginning, John.
Buddy. Preach to me.
You never had a shot. This group was handpicked by MLB because of their political connections, not necessarily their money, but it was more their political connections and their assurances that they had a framework that they could get a deal done in Tampa, because Major League Baseball has always wanted the stadium in Tampa for obvious reasons.
That is 100%
demographics,
correct.
location, blah, blah, blah. So that's where we sit.
That is where.
And as Ken said, it's Tampa's to lose. I don't think they're going to fuck this up.
I don't think they're going to mess this up.
No.
I think that is going to get done. Hopefully, it'll be not that far off the heels of the closing, which will probably be somewhere in the first week of October. I expect it to be that by. I know there's got to be some there's going to be some voiding and there have to be some jockeying. But as far as the layout of what it could possibly be, where it's going to be and what it's going to be, it would make all the fans feel warm and fuzzy, thinking, "Wow! Not only did Stewart get quote unquote ousted out, he's only got a small sliver of it, and hopefully it will be diluted down the road. But here's the real plan for the stadium, because I think what people wanted were two things, bro. They wanted Sternberg out, but they wanted the real, the real deal. We've been teased so many times for a stadium. So, and then the third part of it is, which I feel is going to have to be a growing pains thing, is, how much money you're going to spend on the next year on the team, spend a little more. You don't have to go crazy and be at 150, but get over 100 and let's go move on as it progresses.
Yeah. And I think, from the people I've talked to within this ownership group, they want to bring the payroll closer to major league average and put the money back into the team, into the facility,
into the community,
not into their pockets. That's not what they're interested in.
So all right.
That's good news.
I'm going to get you off the schneid with that as far as
well, let's hope it happens. All right, partner, another great show.
Outstanding.
We had Yogi stories. We had Luis Tiant voicemail.
We actually had Louis on the show.
We had him on the show from the grave. God bless him. God bless him. That is freaking awesome.
He wasn't from the grave. He was alive.
Well, he was alive, but we love him. He's since passed. I love you, but that's what you get. I mean, you don't get that on any other show. You don't get that. That's why this is the best baseball show in the world. It's the Big O Show with Orestes Destrade, brought to you by Texas Roadhouse, Wesley Chapel, Kingmakers, and the Murphy Auto Group, specifically Genesis of Tampa. We will be back with another one of these tremendous shows. Next week. And who are we going to have on the show, partner?
We're going to have Matt Bowers on the show.
Ooh.
So look him up. A lot of incredible information.
And he's going to talk.
If you just Google Matt Bowers, you're going to be dumbfounded with the stories of this guy and the life. This guy once, by the way, before we close, put a $4.2 million wager on the Super Bowl. He was big league. He was
what?
He put down a $4.2 million himself, his bet on the Super Bowl.
Wow.
On the Super Bowl game.
Well, we're going to hear about that. We will hear from him on our next Big O Show with the Orestes Destrade.
Enjoy the games. Stay tranquil, tropical.
I like that.